Arsenal have agreed the fee for Fresneda, and there's still some nitty-gritties that they're supposed to go on and really wait for until the player makes a decision on whether he's going to Borussia Dortmund or Arsenal. That is another story that I wanted to come up with here. Then Mckennie is really a central defense midfielder that plays at Juventus, and obviously Arsenal have gone ahead to show interest in him. Camavinga, who came out and really liked a post that linked him to Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead and really told us the exact vibe behind him leaving a side known as Real Madrid to come and join Arsenal. Then there is Zubomendi, a player that Arsenal have gone ahead to really be tracking and has let them down, meaning that Arsenal are really hunting in for central defense midfield, meaning that they know that they are just a Thomas Partey injury away from getting back to where they don't want to be. And lastly, we are talking about Jakub Kuya, a player that Mikel Arteta has been scouting. What has really delayed his announcing? This is what you're going to tackle tonight. So, Rokani David is my name. Let's get into this story. Now, I brought you a story, I think, like, was it on Friday or Sunday, that Fresneda, the right back that plays for Valladolid, the 18-year-old, Arsenal is interested in him, and his agent was at the Emirates, at London Conley, and they talked with him, I think, on Friday, before the announcing of Trossard as a new player of Arsenal. He had talks with the Arsenal board, Edu and Mikel Arteta. Arteta talked to the player, he told him his plans, and now it looks like Arsenal have gone ahead to agree a fee with the team known as Valladolid, where this 18-year-old youngster plays at. Now, we've been told by The Athletic, and that is David Austin, in demand right back, Ivan Fresneda will make a decision on his next club today. Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund have both agreed terms for the player. A fee of 15 million euros with Fresneda to be loaned back to Rio Valladolid for the rest of the season. So that is what is happening right now. To me, I thought that maybe it's going to come in through and really become the instant hit at Arsenal, but it looks like for Arsenal, they want to go out and really loan the player back to Valladolid, and obviously the player also, that's what he wants. Now, what is really giving Arsenal a boost of signing this player? The player wants to stay at Valladolid until the end of the season. But Borussia Dortmund wants to sign him and take him to Bundesliga immediately in this January transfer window. So it looks like Arsenal really having an upper hand, because I think there is no urgency of bringing a right back, because however much Ben White played very badly yesterday, but obviously he's one of the best right backs that have been playing for Arsenal ever since the season started. So Tomiyasu came in through and really played for the remaining 45 minutes of the game, but that does not really make Ben White a bad right back. He's a very good right back, though he lacks some ingredients going forward. That's why the likes of Fresneda are really being looked at. Fresneda being looked at by Mikel Arteta. So it looks like Arsenal might win this battle. They've agreed the fee with a team where Fresneda plays for, that is Valladolid, and the player is being linked to a side known as Arsenal. And I believe Valladolid will go on and decide with the player, because the player's decision is going to be so much important to Valladolid. So if at all the player decides to go on and go Borussia Dortmund, he will go that side. If at all he decides to go to Arsenal, obviously he'll go that side. But the good thing is that the player's decision is to stay yet another 6 months at Valladolid and then join the club that would have signed him in the summer. So that is what it's all about, Fresneda, and I believed that I was supposed to come here and really throw in that story onto you, not so, and I think you've enjoyed it. That's it. So let's leave that at that, Fresneda story, and let's go to a story of a man known as Mckennie. This guy is a midfielder, and Arsenal look like they're really looking in for a midfielder. And there is a story of Martin Zubenedi that really was trending on social media, I think like 1 or 2 days back, that Arsenal wanted to pay the 60 million euro release clause of Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi in this January transfer window, but the player does not want to leave in the middle of the season. That is it. So this player is really talented. I support Manchester United. They played against us in the UEFA Europa League, Real Sociedad, and they topped the group, but he's really a beast in that midfield. He controls the ball very well. He passes in very well. He has good tackles, and he's only 23 years of age. So Arsenal look like they are really anxiously waiting, or desperately looking in for a central defensive midfielder to come up and back up Thomas Partey, and they went in for Zubimendi. But Sociedad told them, obviously, you can go ahead and really take the player. But when they talk to the player said he doesn't want to leave in the middle of the season, meaning that he has a very huge plan in the summer. And Arsenal said, all right, if you don't want to come to us, we are really going to go in for another option. And that option looks like we've gotten to know about it. And obviously, it's the guy from Juventus known as Mckennie. Mckennie is a central defensive midfielder who plays for Juventus, and United inquired about him last summer. Sorry, I think in the summer. But this time around, it is really looking like Juventus are really willing to sell the player. And being told by Gazzetti that Juventus are willing to negotiate the sale of Mckennie for a reasonable offer between 20 to 25 million euros fixed best bonuses. Arsenal could make an attempt for the player should Weston be sold and assault on Fresneda could materialize. So, when you look at Mckennie is really a very good player. All right, so Mckennie. So Mckennie is a player. He plays multiple positions in the midfield. He can play as a box-to-box midfielder. He can play as a central defensive midfielder. So Arsenal look like they are hunting for a central defensive midfielder to go on and do the needful if at all Thomas Partey is away. It looks like Elneny is wanted or admired by his former coach at Arsenal. That is Unai Emery, who is doing his job away at Aston Villa. So Arsenal look like I think Arsenal saw this as a perfect chance to sell in a player known as Elneny to get some money in. Then even a player called this right back Cedric Soares to follow me. If at all they can get like 15 million pounds from these two players, I think that will be great. And if at all they add it to that and get in Fresneda, then they bring in a player called Mckennie. That will be something great and good business for a side called Arsenal. So Arsenal look like they want to bring in Mckennie from Juventus. He's a very good player, and his age is really not all that alarming because the player is just 24 years of age, into the right profile player of Mikel Arteta and Edu. He fits that profile, and I believe everything is going to go on as planned for Mikel Arteta. So let's wait and see what other developers are going to come in through to do the needful, because Arsenal look like they are desperate to get in a player called Mckennie. And Fresneda, after Zubimendi said, I'm not leaving this club to join Arsenal in the January transfer window because my plans are to play until the end of the season to see to it that I really depart this team in the summer. So that's it. And obviously, as Arsenal go into hunt for what we call a central defensive midfielder, or a midfielder that really can go ahead and really be a backup for Granit Xhaka or Thomas Partey, a story of Eduardo Camavinga was trending all over social media, and Fabrizio Romano came out and really talked to his agent. His agent said that no more for the player. No sooner had the agent said that, and Ancelotti said that the player is going nowhere. Well, guess what the player did? The player went ahead on Instagram and liked a post linking him to Arsenal. That's it, that he's interested in joining Arsenal. What does that mean? That means there is a lot of uncertainty in the dressing room of Real Madrid as far as Eduardo Camavinga is concerned, meaning that Camavinga wants to leave the team of Real Madrid because he is not being played by Carlo Ancelotti and is asking himself, why don't you let me go? But today, Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to reiterate his words about Eduardo Camavinga, and he said there is absolute no chance for Real Madrid to change their stance on Eduardo Camavinga. He will stay at the club. He will stay as the club considers him key player for present and future of Real Madrid. All parties deny potential loan deal for the French midfielder, meaning that he has talked to Arsenal. Arsenal are really not agreeing a deal of this guy that can materialize in any time from now. Even the agent and Real Madrid are also saying no. So who is who? We don't know. But after the player went ahead to like that post that linked him to Arsenal, I think I did that story and watched it very well. It shows you that there is something boiling behind those that we don't know, and we would love to know a lot about it. Not so? So let's wait and see what the aftercomings are going to be, because Eduardo Camavinga, if at all he comes to Arsenal, he can really do ahead and really displace the likes of Granit Xhaka and very many others. So that is the story about a player known as Eduardo Camavinga. Now let's go to a player that Arsenal brought in, I think it was Thursday, Friday. That's it. I think it was Friday. That's when Fabrizio told us, here we go, that Yakub Kuya is an Arsenal player and is going to fly to Arsenal and do his medical. He underwent his medical on Saturday, passed it, but everyone is asking him or herself, why is it taking long for him to be announced? Remember, today morning, Fabrizio told us that his announcement is going to be held today, but it's really taking long. But we've gotten a source that has really gone ahead to leak the reasons as to why this deal is not happening right now and all being not announced by Arsenal, and it's delaying to be announced. They've told us that work permit is still pending. Everything is expected to be sorted in the next very few hours. There are problems. Parties working on last details and media content. Then signature and official announcement. The deal is done. It's time. So looks like the working permitters had caused problems for the delay of this deal, but it looks like everything has been done and dusted. And anytime from now, you're going to hear this player announced that he's an Arsenal player, and wait for him to be announced. And when he's announced, I'm going to be here to really do that story that it's official. Arsenal announced Yakub Kuya as their new left central defender. That is it, coming in from Luca Bendoni, Transfer Market Interview Stories, aspiring journalist. He works for Di Marzio, and Fabrizio Romano also quotes him a lot because they are in the same caliber. Even Fabrizio Romano once worked with Di Marzio, but now he went solo into this career of reporting in news. Then we're having John Cross. He's a chief football writer, chair of Football Writers Association, coming in from the Mirror. He has told us something as to why Mikel Arteta went ahead and signed this player known as Yakub Kuya that everyone saw yesterday at the Emirates in the stands when Arsenal was playing against Manchester United, a game that they won 3-2. He has told us that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta moved for Spezia defender Yakub Kuya after the 22-year-old was identified and then scouted with his stats and data, making him one of the most promising centre-backs around the world. Obviously, he's the most promising centre-back in the world. What shows you that he's the most promising? Teams like Borussia Dortmund that are good at scouting, we are scouting him. Which other team that is really good at scouting? Atletico Madrid was scouting him. Leicester City, Brentford. There's another team that's good at scouting. Leipzig, RB Leipzig was also scouting this player. That shows you that this player was really good, and shows you how broad and vast the scouting team of Arsenal is, and they are doing such a great job. For identifying Mykhailo Mudryk, kudos should be given to them. Though the player never really went to Arsenal, obviously you have to go ahead and really give them their flowers, because guys, scouting players not an easy game, because teams that are really having huge budgets like Chelsea cannot scout. They are just waiting for teams like Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea to scout for them, and then they come in and hijack. Even right now, they've gone ahead to really agree personal terms with Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto is a player that United scouted in France, and they wanted to sign him, but United just never had money to sign the player, and obviously Chelsea has gone in and signed that player. So it shows you how Chelsea are tapping merchants. They are tapping merchants. Every time you go ahead and really have a scouting team, scout a player, and after scouting him, everything really loses balance. They come in and they take the player. So I believe Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is really impressing for really having got this player. And I believe you guys are really going to love this player. Let's pray to it that he really comes in and really plays as soon as possible, because Arsenal's next game is against Man City on Friday. I don't know whether he will be eligible to play, but let's wait and see what everything is going to be concerning about this player. So guys, go into the comment section. Tell me what your thoughts are about Fresneda. Fee agreed. Arsenal have agreed the Fresneda fee with Valladolid. Then Mckennie update. Arsenal looking like they're really trying to explore and evaluate whether that deal is possible from Juventus. And obviously, do you think Camavinga is really coming to Arsenal, or it's really something that the player is pushing and the agents are not really interested for him to leave a side known as Real Madrid? Lastly, what do you think about Yakub Kuya, a player that Arsenal is going to go ahead and announce later today, as confirmed to us by Fabrizio Romano? Into your comment section below. Rokani David is my name, and obviously it's a Monday, and we are trying to come out and really present you stories that are really making headlines here onto the Rokani Media Football. So as things stand, you guys are the best. Continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 11,000 subscribers. We are left with just 200 subscribers. So subscribe, and I hand you over to the Almighty Lord protect you abundantly, as we are really left with like 2 stories to end our day. And I pray to it that Yakub Kuya is announced and it makes our last story of the day. I'm out. Bye-bye.